Hello everyone, we are Group 17 and welcome to our Summative group discussion. I'm Ege Giray and my group members Shermila, Alexis, Abiola and Taye, and you can see us. And let's start with me. My company is Tesla. Tesla was founded in 2003. Its headquarters is in California, United States. In 2020, it had nearly 71,000 employees. Its CEO is Elon Musk. Its mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, and its vision is to create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. So as you might imagine, its industry is automotive. So let's start with the cage analysis. When we start with cultural distance, they should evaluate the prejudgments about electric cars in different cultures. Countries which have long car journeys might not be appropriate for Tesla because of electric vehicles' range and charge duration problems. So does the country have sufficient fast chargers? When we come to administrative distances, countries may apply tax incentives to electric cars, which is a significant advantage for Tesla, like Norway. And some countries apply extra taxation to American products. This might be a threat for Tesla, like China. And when you come to geographic distance, the high geographic distance between Tesla's headquarters and their high demand that markets makes it very difficult. So Tesla aims to build a factory in each continent for a faster car delivery with less costs. And when we come to economic distance, export costs might block profitability. So as a solution, they build new factories in Europe and China. And some countries might be economically risky to enter. So they made their global online purchasing system for consumers who can buy their Tesla vehicles choosing another country as import center and receive their vehicles. When we apply the SWOT analysis, let's come to the strengths. They have a successful and innovative CEO. They have high number of investors. They have high amount of cash inflow, regardless of their sales and profits, thanks to Elon Musk's support. And when we come to their weaknesses, they have build quality issues. According to consumer reports, they have some reliability problems, and global strategy might be an issue where internationalization might be required in the future. Expensive production of electric cars, no profit until 2020, so they started to obtain profit after 2021. So when we come to the opportunities, increasing demand for electric cars is an opportunity, consumer attraction for autonomous driving, high brand perception, tax incentives for electric cars, consumer sensitivities about the environment, and demand for air pollution-free incentives. So when we come to their threats, increasing criticisms against electric cars because of the environment friendliness. For example, lithium-ion batteries, they have some recycling and disposal problems which may harm the world. And rival companies invest on hydrogen fuel cell cars, so they believe hydrogen is a better opportunity. Or Japanese rivals like Toyota, Mazda, Subaru, etc. The alternative fuel, other fuel suggestions like biofuels. They believe biofuels is a good opportunity. And sanctions against United States products of countries is a threat for Tesla. So when we have a look at the competency tree, the roots are the core competencies like manufacturing, quality control, finance, sales, innovation, maintenance. And the trunk of the tree is the electric vehicles, which is the core product. And we have branches, SUVs, sedans, hatchbacks, coupe cars, or trucks they build. For example, Model X and Model 3 are, Model X is a SUV an example, a fruit. Model 3 and Model S are fruits for sedan branches. Model Y, long range and performance, it's an hatchback. Roadster Base Edition and Founders Edition, it's a coupe, a fruit of coupe branch. And as a truck, we have Cybertruck. So this is the competency tree of Tesla for 2023. So when you come to recommendations, the production quality issues should be fixed in short term. They should diversify their service web for Tesla drivers in countries which Tesla doesn't operate, and they should create an action plan if they might need to change their business model in the future. For medium term, they should supply enough cars for the increasing demand, new production methods, and additional plan projects should be discussed. Governments should be convinced to apply extra incentives for electric cars, and Elon Musk appears to be the only decision taker from investor perspective. But if Elon Musk has to stop his duty, the investors might lose their interest against the company. When we come to long term, companies should also follow the latest updates about alternative environment-friendly fuels and make investments according to those updates, the company should cooperate with governments about the alternative fuel sources with an unbiased behavior. And Elon Musk expresses that hydrogen fuel cell technology is stupid. And I think that's a tactless statement from a CEO. And this might kill the critical thinking of engineers in the company, since they can feel reluctant to assert new ideas. And Elon Musk is recommended to stop using this reckless language, since he has an extreme responsibility for the environment. These are my references, and thank you for listening to me. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Hello.
What do you think about the other producer of electric cars? As I don't know, that's Renault, you know,
Yeah.
France, or do you think it's possible to have a competition with Tesla? Or
The thing is, for example, when Tesla was first launched, they didn't have many premium car brand rivals. Like Renault is a mainstream brand, but now you can see really strong electric cars from Porsche or Mercedes or BMW, and we see that the market share of Tesla decreases, and because Mercedes or other brands or Porsche are getting more market share. So I believe Tesla's future is bright. They are increasing their sales still, but the competition is increasing a lot, so their job will be hard in the future, I think.
Yeah. Okay, good. Nice. Thank you.
Nice.
You're welcome.
And any more questions?
Yeah. Why do you think hydrogen is important for cars?
Because in electric cars, we have a problem of disposal of the batteries. So when the batteries are over, they are not usable anymore, we don't know how we can dispose them or how we can recycle them. So they harm the world in future. There will be a big problem of waste batteries. But in hydrogen, we don't have a power problem like that. Hydrogen fuel is more efficient, and hydrogen is easier to convert it to electric. So we don't need to produce electric from coal or from old methods of electric producing. So hydrogen appears to be a better option for the future, in my opinion. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, and I have another question again. I saw in your SWOT analysis under weakness, you have mentioned that Tesla do not expect profit until 2020. So
yeah, they couldn't
that?
obtain. That's because, firstly, producing an electric car is really expensive. And have a look at prices in the market. Electric cars are always more expensive, so they have more costs. And their sales were too low to get profit with those productions. And also, according to some research, their investments on research and development is too high. So they have too many costs, but they couldn't sell too many cars to get profit over the costs. So in 2021, in the last decade or in the last 5 years, they increased their sales a lot, and they could just obtain profit in 2021.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, thank you too. So any more questions? Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Ege.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ege. Well, thank you so much, Ege, for your description about Tesla. So now I'm going to describe you about the AstraZeneca. So it is a Swedish multinational pharmaceutical company currently headquartered in Cambridge, and was founded in 1999 through the merger of Sweden's Astra AB Group and the UK-based Zeneca Group. And it focused on discovery, development, and commercialization of prescription medicines in oncology, cardiovascular, renal and metabolic diseases, respiratory and immunology, neuroscience, and infection and vaccines. The company is globally spread over 100 countries, and The company's vision is to transform treatment for billions of people living with chronic diseases. And the strategy is driven by innovative science and entrepreneurial culture focused on the delivery of life-changing medicines that are fueling growth and contributing value to patients and society. And they introduce themselves as a global science-led patient-focused pharmaceutical company. They follow the science, they put patients first, they play to win, do the right thing, and be entrepreneurial in terms of values. So moving to the external environmental analysis, the global mega trends that are faced by AstraZeneca. So the unmet medical needs, such as non-communicable diseases include cardiovascular, metabolic, and respiratory diseases, and cancers. They associate with aging population and lifestyle factors and are increasing worldwide. The political and economic uncertainty, civil war, and political unrest have caused instability around the world and leading to a large number of refugees fleeing their homes. And the climatic change, civil war, and the clean air, safe drinking water, sufficient food, and adequate shelter are all compromised by the impacts of climate change, extreme heat, and intensifying natural disasters. And the globalization, one of the major trends, and it has shifted pharmaceutical manufacturing away from the traditional heavyweight of Europe, the United States and Japan, UK, to emerging economies such as China, India, and Brazil. Especially in this case, AstraZeneca have been closing down UK manufacturing sites in favor of cheaper international sites. And the use of artificial intelligence operations have begun investing in implementing more new technologies into their production lines, including Industry 4.0 technologies such as the Internet of Things, machine learning, and big data. And the urbanization trend has been a great challenge adapting logistically, but also implies increasing metabolic and respiratory disease cases. And the pharmaceutical sector naturally has immense potential to expand its offering to a broader target group and a more health issues prone population. And doing an industrial overview about the AstraZeneca, it employs 7.5% market share in the UK, and over the last 5 years, the industry is likely to be affected by patent expirations on key drugs, intensifying competitive pressure from overseas manufacturers. However, these negative conditions are expected to be offset by higher demand for industry services because of the continued aging of the UK population and ongoing product development and more efficient manufacturing from the wider use of new technologies. And the industrial revenue is also expected to rise at a compound annual rate. And also this pharmaceutical industry it contains many barriers to entry because of the regulatory conditions. Therefore, we need to the pharmaceutical companies need to get the first movers advantage to materialize their R&D expenditures they put on their products. So moving to the internal environment, the strategic options. So these are their inner strategic options. The first one, accelerate innovative science. They follow disruptive R&D platforms with new scientific modalities such as PROTACs and cell therapies. And when it comes to deliver growth and therapy area leadership, they concern about their financial health. And with regard to the COVID-19, thinking differently about delivering healthcare to patients, for example, mixing remote and in-person approaches and developing new approaches and advancing behaviors and skills required to speed digital transformation and be a great place to work. In this case, they focus mainly on contributing to the enterprise and contributing to the society. So these strategic options lead them to obtain the competitive advantage in the pharmaceutical market by being the core competencies. So moving to the how AstraZeneca add value to their business model. So a talented and diverse workforce, they have empowered women in their workforce and leadership position in science, like 6 billion invested in science in 2020, and understanding stakeholders, effective collaborations, commercialization skills, intellectual property, more than 100 countries where AstraZeneca has obtained patent protection, a robust supply chain, where they having spent dollars 13.3 billion with suppliers, and their financial strength that amounts $4.8 billion net cash flow from operating activities. So this is how they add value to their business model. And this is my recommendations, and these are my references. So do you guys have any questions? The floor is open for questions now.
Thank you, Shermila. I have one question. So in
Yeah.
your presentation, I saw that the AstraZeneca's market share in the UK is 7.5. And
Yes.
what is, I'm just asking about your opinion. Isn't it a low market share for an English brand in England?
Yeah, yes, it is, because but still they are the they share the highest market share when it compares to the pharmaceutical industry. That can be due to the foreign market, the competition coming from the international market. So that's why they are sharing a limited number of, because when we compare the next pharmaceutical company next to AstraZeneca, it shares only 6.5%. So the higher competition, like I previously explained, from cheap labor countries. So that is due to the competition coming from the economic powers like China, India, and Brazil.
Yeah, I do know about
So
that high competition. Now it makes sense. Thank you.
yeah, that's fine. So
And
any
Shamila,
other
I have a
questions?
question.
Yes,
Just
Alexis.
could you
Yes,
explain
Alexis.
again, please, how AstraZeneca used the AI on the slide of the global megatrends?
Oh,
You know?
the artificial intelligence. That was about the
Yes,
artificial intelligence.
yes.
Yes, because for pharmaceutical companies, even AstraZeneca, they are more focused on innovation. So to drive innovation, I think artificial intelligence, they should make use of it, because a product in a pharmaceutical company takes like 15 years to develop, like FDA, they rarely accept. So they need to make use of new technologies like 4.0, big data, like taking to be more customer centric. So therefore, that has become a major trend for AstraZeneca.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay for that. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Shermila.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for the lovely presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
What you in the opportunities you mentioned M&A. Can you please describe what you meant by M&A?
Yeah, that's a great question, Abiola, because M&A, that's mergers and acquisitions for an organizations to be expanded, especially for a pharmaceutical company that has more barriers to entry. Like they want strategic alliances, these mergers and acquisitions to blow up in the industry, because it provide them advantages of cost, and
Okay.
and it helps to combine expertise, knowledge, and
Okay.
potentially increase the their success rate. And they have some special AstraZeneca, they always build these strategic alliances, especially with the Japanese drug makers and and some other for an example, if I give you an example, they created this transaction with Omicron Pharmaceuticals to develop their cardiovascular portfolio.
Okay.
So they are really important for a pharmaceutical industry to emerge.
Oh, thank you so much.
Especially because of this cost.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was brilliant.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you.
question.
Shermila.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Shermila. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. Yeah, all right. So then next presentation, I think our next presenter is Alexis. So I invite Alexis for the next presentation.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Shermila. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Shermila, for your previous presentation. I am going to talk about the InBev company. And we're going to see how this multinational company is still the leader in this market. So, the quick company presentation. The full name is Anheuser-Busch InBev. This company was founded in 1717 by Sebastian Artois in Leuven, in Belgium. And InBev is part of the beverage industry and has presence in over 25 countries. So, as for a brief story, as about a brief history of the brand is concerned, in 1954, the first takeover took place with that of Lef, and in 1987, the Artois and Piedboeuf breweries merged under the name Bellbrew. And in 2004, the brand then became the largest brewer in the world after the merger with the Compañía de Bebidas de América. In 2008, another merger between Anheuser-Busch to become the name we know today, and InBev in 2016 to be the best industry. Now, for the mega trends, the world is constantly changing, and I think it's important for multinational to adapt to this new country. Firstly, when we look at climate change, we can see that InBev has adapted its strategy by offering recycled products. And in addition, the brand is committing to working with its farmers to develop more sustainable agriculture. This is a key point because barley is their raw material. Then in terms of digitalization, InBev has an online platform enabling it to sell its product online and thus adapt to this new demand. For the urbanization factors, InBev is adapting by offering home delivery services to meet the demand of people living in cities to have the product more quickly. Finally, and the last one, which is globalization, InBev, like other companies, is suffering from the effect of the COVID crisis and finds itself blocked by the global transport of goods, which is slowing down in the current situation. Now, with the TAUS matrix, on this slide, we can analyze all the TAUS matrix and the strategy, which allows us to evaluate different options according to the opportunities and threats and the international analysis of companies. By referencing the external factors, we can say that in terms of opportunities, the market offers growth of e-business due to the arrival of COVID, a development of craft beer, and an emergence of luxury beer. Then on the strength side, InBev has market leadership, a highly skilled workforce, a wide range of products, and a good merger management in terms of technology. Therefore, putting this data together, we can say that the opportunities for the brand is in SO, our craft beer and premium beer launches. If we combine the strengths and weaknesses, and then it will be interesting to event the environment through qualified personnel and by using merger on the technological level. As for the weakness, we can identify three, which are lack of product diversification, cost of employees, the cost of acquisition too, and which result in the high debt. As before strategy emerged when comparing weaknesses and opportunities, such as reducing the cost of debt and developing premium beer from existing range. When comparing strengths and weaknesses, the strategy is always to reduce debt by continuing effort to produce in a more sustainable way. Now, if we analyze InBev stock price, we can observe a strong decrease since July 2021 and a slight increase since November due to the release of the new premium beer. InBev offers a wide range of products which allows it to offer customers new alternatives. And in addition, thanks to the strong decision, he has full control over the production chain and is therefore less dependent on suppliers. And the merger with Sewwandi has enabled them to consolidate their leading position in their market. In addition, the recent partnership with startup company allows them to also to offer various solutions to consumers as well as for their internal production. All these elements together give them a significant competitive advantage over the other. Now for the strategic options, we can divide into three categories. The first one is innovation, which allows to produce products that are complementary to others, as sparkling water, for example. And InBev is also launching natural products and technological initiatives, such as the self-driving truck of the future. And there are innovation in the environmental field too. In the relation with the subsidiaries, the company supports producers engage with the brewer, manufacturer. In addition, committing to the current struggle of COVID by providing numerous grants to associations. At the international level, new strategic choices are occurring, in particular with the entry into the Chinese market and in the innovation of premium beer. And now for strategy implementation in short and medium long term, it will be faster. InBev continue to strengthen and premiumize its portfolio, rebalancing towards faster growing core segments. In addition, they continue to expand their portfolio of offerings through beyond berry innovations such as Michelob Ultra Sailor, and they continue to expand the portfolio. With this one. Sorry. Now for the medium term, they try to advance sustainability around the world with a smart agriculture, increasingly focused on the digitalization of their services, as I explained previously. And they continue to invest in promotion, which will allow them to keep the links that they have with their customers. In the long term, they continue to focus on the growing African market with double-digit beer volume growth over 2019 in Nigeria, Mozambique, and Zambia. And InBev continue to invest in the customer and just try to invest in a consumer-centric business strategy is necessary. Now, for my recommendation for the short term, they try to continue to develop the premium brands. And indeed, this is a growing market. So this strategy combined with an investment in digital and delivery will allow InBev to provide a complete service to its consumer and high quality. And then for the medium term, they have to continue to invest in non-alcoholic drinks. In addition, some laws such as the war law could hint to being our country could tax alcoholic products more, and InBev will be in difficult situations. And for the last thoughts on the long term, InBev should continue to develop the eco-responsible part, indeed as a leader in their market, and they must commit themselves responsibly and sustainably, both for the planet and on a social level. This will strengthen the brand image, but also encourage the competitor to do the same. So now just my references. So thank you to listen to me. Now the lead for Abiola.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so basically you told us that they are trying to be more environment friendly, and in the SWOT analysis, I saw that they focus on environment by removing beers.
Sorry, by removing?
Yeah, continue to focus on the environment by removing some beers. So What is the relation between removing some beers and the environment saving?
Does he have to remove, sorry, some brands or some beer?
Yeah,
Sorry?
like when they remove some beers, as it told here.
Yes.
How does it affect the environment?
Yeah, because when you produce some beer, you need a lot of agriculture, a lot of product.
Oh,
And so when you try to reduce the product, we also reduce we increase the raw material because we reduce the consumption and the production of this product. So it could be an idea to really increase the number of products. So
yeah.
and to have a link with
I understand.
with the
Thank you so
environment.
much.
Yeah. Thank you, Ege.
Yeah,
Anyone have another
yeah,
question?
Alexis, I got another question. I see that you're mentioning about the debt situation of
Yes.
the company. So do you think it is necessary to consider about this debt in InBev?
Yeah, because I have explained, and it's necessary because I mean, today the competition is more and more important, and it's vital for the company, even if they are the leader that like InBev to areas some problems that can affect the economic situation of the company in long term, and also to avoid that some investor to provide the fund for the next year, So yes, it's important to look the debt every year and to decrease this debt to have much confidence for the investor later.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Abiola, and thank you, Alexis, for that lovely presentation. My chosen company is MTN, and what do we mean by MTN? That's a mobile telecommunication network. It was founded in 1994 in South Africa. It has a revenue of 12.4 billion as of 2020, and their vision is to lead the delivery of a bold new digital world to our customers that's across the world. And their mission is to utilize innovative information and communication technologies to empower countries' growth and strength to strength. That is from strength to strength. Okay, so we'll be looking at two approaches, which are the outside in and the inside out. So, talking about the inside out, they focus on the internal of the company, that is the organization of MTN, and this has to do with the resources and the competitors. That is from the company's resources to their competitors, and from their competitors to the customers, while the outside in is the other way around. That is from the customers or consumers to the competitors, then back to the organization. Is more or less like a feedback to the organization. So okay, yes, I have this diagram that says, okay, from the inside out orientation, it goes from the company, that's from the MTN, down to the firm's innovations performance before it gets across to the users. And analyzing MTN operating using cage model. Okay, I'll talk about the first one, which is the cultural. Due to the various differences in culture, there is usually an impediment in this regard, especially where important/host countries believe strongly in cultures. That is, let me not talk about, I have an example here, but we know in China, the symbol of China, most of them, they deal with red, and red is like a good luck to them. Whereby in other countries, it could be even in Nigeria don't see red as a good sign, except from Christmas. When they see something that has to do with red, they feel, oh, okay, probably danger is coming or something. So they feel, sorry about that. So they feel, oh, it's more or less like something that has to do with danger. So that is where the cultural part is from, because MTN has to do from 1994. MTN has actually focused on yellow. They've never diversified from yellow to another color. They just keep on that yellow because they believe yellow is actually a good sign that has to do with bright, and that has to do with something like brightness. So, and looking at the administrative part, MTN actually struggled in regards in gaining entry into other countries, especially African countries, with potential tensions and weak of corruptions due to corruptions, because there are some countries that actually corrupt, and they don't want the administrative moving backwards. So looking at the geographical parts, since it's related to the transportation costs, we agreed that the large distance of MTN South Africa to import to host countries due to transportation. Okay, just for an example, they have in Botswana, there's MTN in Botswana, there's MTN in Ghana, and more of African countries. And then looking at the economical parts, this is majorly influenced by differences in absolute GPD capital of both countries. That is, from the export flow and trade generally, we look at the GP value of both countries and differences between the economic distance. Thank you. And down to the strengths, to the SWOTs. So talking about the strengths, talk about the proper accountability to request and compliance. They create online support, ability to delete unwanted advertisement message. That is more of their thing, because MTN focus, they spend more on advertisements, so it's more of their strength. And to their weakness, the inability to trace fraudulent or harmful user. Okay, for example, I happen to be an MTN user as well when I was back home, and now I'm in this country. I can actually recharge my phone and make calls, but it's more expensive. But they can't really trace. They don't really have data. Not until recently in Nigeria, whereby you have to register your SIM with your NI. NI, that's National Insurance Number in Nigeria. We call it NIN, which is National Insurance Number. You have to register. You have to register your SIM with it. So I think with that, maybe they could look at that in future. But it's one of their weaknesses because it has not been working. So, and other things they have is another weakness they have is less global recognition. They have intense and price competitive with their competitors, because as that's when MTN came in, so it's quite expensive. And now recently you hardly get free SIM though, but their competitors are actually running quite close to them. So, and they need to work more harder on their weakness. So that is one of their weaknesses as well. And the opportunity, host calls and XMA, their virtual location, no relocation costs, SIM cards and arbitrary numbers. So that is one of their opportunity as well. And their threats, online charges from contracted banks. Oh yes, in some countries, in South Africa, where you tend to make calls, and there's certain amounts the bank will charge when you recharge. Okay, let's say they charge. I'm not really familiar with what they spend. I mean, their cheapest currency, rand. Okay, yeah, rand. Their currency. Okay, let's assume that you recharge 100 rand, and the bank would tend to take, let's say, about 2% from it, while the rest go to MTN. So it's a threat to them. They should get what they offer to people. So that is one of the other threats. Then government hostage. Yes, they have something to remit to the government as well. Difficulties and long code for different people. So looking at my next slide, these are one of the strategic issues faced by MTN in South Africa. They revolve around changes and innovative, even with introduction of their new ideas, and their local competitors are strong local markets. MTN was an operator that got into foreign markets with low price and varieties of service it offered to its users. Yes, in the sense that this means whereby when it's just okay, when they offer you to buy, let me use 100 rand as well. When you buy 100 rand of recharge, from that 100 rand, you can actually get, let's say 100 minutes of calls. You can use it for 100 minutes of calls, and at the same time get 100 minutes of text, and at the same time get 100 MB of data. So it's like you're getting three in one. They're getting 3 in 1 packages, and it's an issue for them, because they tend to reduce their cost because of their competitors. Because the way their competitors are coming into the market, it's so high that they'll tell you, oh, if you can buy this thing for 100 rand, you can get 500 MTN, you can get 500 credits, and you get using it like that. So it's an issue for them in South Africa. They feel, oh, okay, because our competitors is giving this, why can't we give more bundles to people? So this is actually one of their threats. And ensuring consistent branding in different countries, it found itself. Oh yes, looking at in Nigeria as an example, they came into Nigeria 2001 as a May, and when they came in, they came in through different. There were so many strategies, and then they came in with different bundles, like free midnight calls for people just because they want them to buy. But before you can buy, there are some processes you have to go through, and they have and they have so many competitors coming up, but they came in first before other companies actually penetrated into the country. So, and another strategies they face, another issues they face is a mixed idea of race and nationality, as customer in their host country expect managers and top executives from their countries. And then they have another issue is the digital dividend reward report that over 2 million people still do not have access to internet, with the majority in developing nations. This continues to serve as challenges for MTN across the leader market. And looking at my next slides, but these are my opinion and what I feel they should look at in their short terms and their long and medium terms. Thank you. I don't know if you have anything you want me to.
I can ask one question.
Okay, fine.
Like, as we know, there are many Nigerian people are living in the UK, and
Yeah.
MTN is a Nigerian communication company. So the thing is, like you told, there are some difficulties when you come to the UK. There are extra costs to pay. So I think if they make an additional agreement with an English communication company like Vodafone, so Nigerian people come to the UK, they could use their same agreement in the UK. Wouldn't it be so beneficial for the company? Like if I was a Nigerian, I would just put MTN for that offer. Don't you think it would be so good for the company?
Thank you so much, Ege. Looking at Vodafone, Vodafone happens to be one of their competitors in South Africa, one of their biggest competitors in South Africa. So they can't come into the UK and partner with Vodafone because they are one of their strongest competitors. And MTN happens to be a subsidiary of Visaphone. So yeah, being Visaphone, because there's no Visaphone here, except if they are coming into the country to probably partner with one of the top network provider in the UK. It's just like what's it called? One of their competitors in Nigeria, which happens to be Airtel. Airtel actually partnered with Olotu here in the UK. So you can still penetrate. They can, if it's for Airtel can penetrate through that way. But for MTN, it's like starting all over again because presently they have about 35% in the market share. So it's like a setback for them coming into the UK and trying to have a ground.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really understood now the competition more.
Yeah, it's so high. Thank you. So can I have another one? I'm sorry, I think you're muted.
How was MTN able to meet the market in Nigeria?
Well, when they came in as at 2001 in May, because basically in Nigeria, it's more of going to the going to a telecommunication company to call whoever you want to call abroad or send an email, not email, there was no email, but you could probably post. We have post. So then when they came in through a mobile phone, and everybody was so eager to have a mobile phone. So if you can afford to get the phone, then you will be entitled to a SIM, whereby you could probably communicate with people, and it's an opportunity for people because definitely SIM card is like free to them, which is MTN, which happens to be the provider, but they penetrate through the mobile phone. They'll tell you, oh yeah, if you can buy this phone, then you get the SIM. So it's more of one of their strategy, and it actually works for them before other competitors start coming up and say, oh yes, I think we want to buy from this idea. And so that was how they penetrated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Abiola, so is it the most significant thing about MTN, like because it's a oligopoly market, I think, that has for the telecommunication industry. So what makes them so significant among the other competitors in the market?
Oh, thank you.
As you think?
And thank you for that. For me, to my own understanding, I feel one thing MTN has actually retained and one thing they've stand on for some time is their foundation. They've never, I would say never, they've not actually changed some things about them. Like the only thing they've been doing is add more values to what they've been doing. Yes, they've been trying to add more values, and they try to. And another thing that's been prompting them and pushing them is what their competitors are actually doing, because basically there are other network providers that are coming up day by day, and they feel, oh, okay, we should be able to do more. And there are some companies that can never leave MTN for any other network provider, because basically there are some places in the country that when you I won't say in the country, in the city, they feel, oh, okay, if we use if you're using MTN, probably their network will be so okay, and when you try to use the other provider, they're unable to meet up to MTN standard. Yes, because the standard has been there and other people are still back, as in they're just still behind them. So they are on,
Yeah.
they are on their top, they are still on top of their game,
On top
but
of
they
the
still
game,
need
yes.
they still need to work harder because of the
Okay.
coming networks. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Abiola, for that, for the
Thank you.
explanation.
Thank you, everyone.
Great.
Thank you so much, Abiola.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Abiola, for your teachings. I learned some things again about MTN that I've not learned before. Okay, I'll be talking about Nubank. Nubank is based in Brazil. Is a financial organization like banking, but mostly on digital network. So Nubank means new bank. It was given new bank because of the old ways of doing things in Brazil. Normally, before the advent of Nubank, there was a long process when it comes to banking. So their mission is to fight complexity to empower people. Complexity in the sense that if I need to come into the banking or to open an account, it takes a long time. I have to be on the queue. If I have to make a call to the bank to make a complaint, it takes forever before my calls are being picked. And so that is one of the reasons when the new advent came up, that's why it was given Nubank. So the vision is customer focus, just satisfaction of customers. The customer base is 48 million. As at September 2021, their revenue was $1.06 billion. So Nubank is a financial institution that is from, it is domiciled in Latin America, which was founded by David Valles, 6th May 2013. Valles founded it because at the time that he came into Brazil, he had issues opening an account. He went through all the hurdles and he looked at it that what is the best way to tackle all these issues. So he came with different ideas and he had people that had to come with him to tackle it. He's from Brazil too. So along the line, he opened branches in Mexico, Germany, Argentina, and the environs, just to boost Nubank to have more customer base. That's the main reason why he did that. So let's go to the strategy approach that was used by Valles. Nubank's strategy was just to focus on customer satisfaction. Like I said earlier, that was what he was into. An inside-out approach concentrates on a company's strength and passion. For example, I have a banking background. If I want to win my customers, one of the things I have to do is to follow them back to back. Back to back means I need to know what they want, what will make them to stay with me, what will make them not to go outside and bank with another bank. So that's one of the approaches that Valles used in securing in customers to the bank rather than going to another bank. Another thing he did was he made sure that the credit cards that was given to customers had a little interest rate compared to other banks that they were banking with before he came in. With reduction in the credit card rate, he had more customer base increased. So another thing that he did was trying to ensure that what happens inside a company is linked and aligned with corporate purpose, corporate strategy. Not only when they say corporate purpose, he didn't work only with personal banking, with individuals. He worked with corporate entity too, corporate companies, corporate organizations around him, just to boost his customer base. Okay, outside-in approach was also used, like selling of products at a cheaper rate, rather than having an amount that is high. He also went ahead as having the unbanked and people that they are not civilized. That's what they call them, unbanked people. They are not civilized. So he went ahead to make them to be in charge to come in and to bank with them. He did not only focus on the learned people. He focused on both learned and the unlearned. So what are the strengths that he did? What were the things he did? The strengths, using that the SWOT analysis, eradication of long queues. What are the strengths of no bank? Eradication of long queues before account opening, reducing of charges on credit cards issued, no bank's capability to approach unbanked and financially excluded customers in Brazil through gadget solutions. Mostly was on if you want to open an account, was through mobile app, mobile banking, rather than filling forms. It tried to eradicate the local way of account opening. Then one of the weaknesses that Nubank had was cutting down his IPO opportunities. Then one of the opportunities that he had was employment rate in Nubank in Brazil increased. That means the young people were able to have a job. Then the threat, one of the threats that we are looking at concerning Nubank is Nubank may be one of the weakest points for investors, because his banking entails through the use of gadgets. We need to be careful to fraudsters because they can come in to hack it. So it needs to be very careful, and even the investors too need to look at the loopholes. Yes, he had investors that invested in him just for the bank to be running. So we need to look at investors too, to know how it's going to be run so that the bank does not just go down easily. Another thing that encouraged Nubank is the cage analysis, the culture of the people with Valles and the community worked hand in hand. He looked at the kind of people that he has around him, and he was able to go into them, look at what their issues were, and he did not use it in the English form. He did it culturally, looking at people around him, the way of living. Yes, that's what I would say about culture. Administrative, when it comes to administrative, he had people that came from other organizations, other financial institutions that worked with him. So it made it easier for him to come into to be working for banking to be easy. Then the geographical environment that he expanded to also helped him, like Argentina, Mexico, which is around Brazil, not far from Brazil, also helped as well. Then when we come to economic, yes, it boosted the revenue of Brazil because of the investors that came in. So there was a lot of income generation and a lot of employment opportunities for Brazil. So what would that be for my recommendations for Brazil? Nubank should expand to countries like United States of America, and if possible, go out to South Africa for a trial. For a business to thrive, you have to look at the pros and the cons. You have to risk. There's something we call risking in banking. So you have to risk it to see how it's going to be. So going to United States to start another bank is also a good deal. See how it is. South Africa is in an African country. You can try it as well to see how it is. Then another recommendations I would say for Nubank is concentrate more on customer satisfaction. Once your customer is satisfied, you are good to go. They will not go elsewhere. Then another thing that I think they should look at short term is have a dedicated customer agent. By customer agents, I mean looking at the unbanked. The unbanked are people that are not learned. So you need to look for a way to bring them in more. And it's not all of them that will have the gadget phone for mobile application. So if there's a code you can set up for them to use in making transfers, it will also help them. So that is, and these are my references. This is all I have about Nubank. Any question, please?
Hi, thank you, Taye, for your presentation. I have a question.
Thank you.
Why Nubank having a high revenue in Brazil and other locations located?
Because he focused more on customers. Like I said earlier on, customers are the reason why we are doing business. There are people that bring in the income, that bring in that introduce us to people. For example, if you come to my company and I treat you well, I give you all the services that you need, definitely you introduce me to another person. So customer satisfaction is very key when it comes to banking.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I agree with that. Thank you.
I can ask one question. Is this bank as safe as the normal banks? So if I want to put my bank to this bank, can I be sure that it's as safe as an offline bank?
Yes.
Yeah, I do have the same question because it's a virtual bank and the risk is very high. So
Yes.
yeah.
The risk is high, but at the same time, for them to have a customer base of 48 million, and yes, for them to have a customer base of 48 million, they're making income. Yes, they would. I'm sure each day they fine tune their apps to see that yes, they are not exposed to fraudsters.
Yeah.
Because they've been in the industry since 2013. So
Yeah,
okay, so for them to have gone this far, and it's not only Brazil they are situated, they're in other countries like Argentina, Mexico, Germany. So
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you, Taye, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
welcome.
I think this will be the end of our presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.